Having lovers is way more fun than being in a relationship because when you have lovers, you get the best parts. You get the dates, you get the fun, you get the exciting conversations, and you get to skip all of the heavy burden of being in a relationship because those relationships, you have to put in work. Relationships take a lot of work, they take a lot of sacrifice, they take a lot of time. And that's just something that when you have lovers, you don't have to deal with. You just get to meet up, have a good time, enjoy one another's company, go shopping, get flowers, get whatever you want. And then you go back to your separate life. You don't have the pressure of trying to like merge schedules and merge calendars and be constantly available. You don't have that pressure to rearrange your life for this person. They just get in where they fit in. So you get to experience the joy of that person instead of the complexity of a relationship.
Hey, these brothers. I'm at this place called Cameron Cuisine and Cafe, man. This is one of my honeycomb hideouts. And it's crazy because as many times as I've come here to eat, I'm just now understanding what the name of it is, man. I'm always seeing the symbol, but I didn't know what the name was. But man, I want to talk about something today, man. I want to talk about where a lot of men have missed the bus when it comes to women. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's not that a man's swag is not enough. It's not that a man's bag is not enough. A lot of times, man, a lot of reasons why a lot of women are rejecting men is because men are failing to play a part. In other words, a lot of women, to be honest, most women aren't looking for husbands anymore. Most women are looking for scenarios. Most women are looking for lovers. And when they interact with a man and he crosses that line, like it instantly turns them off. Because to be honest, man, a lot of women just they don't want to be in that role of a wife anymore. And that's a whole nother video. There are pros and cons to that conversation, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about you understanding what's going on inside the minds of women now and understanding like why your life isn't fitting. And I know a lot of y'all brothers are gonna say, hey soul man, because I see the comments. A lot of y'all brothers are going to say, hey man, well man, I'm not even looking for a woman. I'm not even, and I get it, because a lot of times us as conscious men, a lot of times us as businessmen, we don't really have time to be sitting there entertaining a woman. And 8 out of 12 months of the year, we're locked in. It's not even on our minds, right? But once you understand what I'm going to talk about today, even if you aren't interacting with a woman on an intimate level, it's gonna expand your relationship with all women. Like even the barista at Starbucks, you're entertaining every morning on your way to the office. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand women are looking to fulfill fantasies. And I might have briefly spoken about this a video or two ago, but we're gonna go in a little deeper today, right? So, lovers. This is a key word, lovers, man. And this is what strikes me about this word I've been hearing lately, like on TikTok. Lovers, lovers. I dated a woman so a while ago, and she would always refer to me as her lover. Like she would, that was like my nickname. Hey lover, hey lover. And man, our relationship was bomb. But the moment I steered that relationship out of what fantasy I fulfilled for her, everything started going down south. And if I'm honest with myself, if I can look at one or two other scenarios in life, it's been that, man. It's been that. So if you want to learn how to interact with women, man, simply learn how to play your part. And it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, and I'll talk about that, right? So when I can think of like the healthiest relationships that I've had, man, it's been scenario based. And I'm talking about in the last decade of my life, in the last 10, 12 years of my life. It's been scenario based relationships, right? There was this sister I used to talk to. and we're still friends even though we don't talk. But there was this sister, and I would say that we were lovers. I don't like saying that word, but this was our relationship, and I love this woman, and this woman loved me. But this was our relationship. We didn't talk every day. We stayed in contact, but every once in a while she would hit me up and say, "Hey, you know what? Let's have coffee." Like it don't matter what city I was in. I would be in Atlanta sometimes. I might be in Dallas. I might be in Phoenix. I might be anywhere. She'd be like, "Hey, where you at? Where you gonna be at this weekend?" I was like, I'll be in South Carolina." And she'll say, "Hey, you know what? I'll fly out. Let's have coffee." And the scenario every single time during our relationship was we would meet at a coffee shop, right? Every once in a while we'll mix it up and have like wine. We might have dinner, but it was based on us having drinks and having heavy conversation. Like the stuff that I talk about on YouTube, the stuff that I talk about in the power circle, like her and I were right there. And we would sit in a coffee shop for maybe an hour, have deep conversation. And every single time the story ended with us being at some high-rise hotel downtown in that city, uh, enjoying each other's company. And the next morning we would wake up, we might have breakfast, and we would go our separate ways. And we loved like when I say we loved each other, like this woman really cut for me. That was our relationship. So what I'm saying is, man, when you enter a woman's life, if you want it to be successful in the year of your Lord 2026, understand what role she wants you to play in her life. Now, time out. What I'm not saying is, man, cater to what a woman's want. You be you, but don't go outside the realms of the story in her head. You know what I'm saying? For example, a lot of men, a lot of women have work husbands. Work husbands. In other words, there are a lot of women. Let me take a bite of my food. I don't even know what this is I got, man. Everything here is good. And the manager and the staff here is A1. If I see her, man, I'll introduce y'all to her. Hell, I don't know her name either. I know the name of the restaurant today. A lot of women have husbands at home, right? Married, kids, dog, the whole shebang, and have a guy at work that they're intimate with on some level. Whether it's just like, hey, we're just flirting, we might have some touching, we might be in the copier room kissing, we might be, hooking up, whatever, on the weekends, whatever that degree of relationship is, right? You have a lot of women and men in those situations that have quote unquote harmony. But the moment a man tries to go outside of those lines, he'll destroy it. In other words, the moment a man goes from trying to be a work husband to like, hey, you know what? Like maybe me and you really have a vibe. Maybe me and you can kick it. Maybe let's try to date. Like maybe you should leave your husband. He crushes it. He crushes her fantasy. And it's not that she's not attracted to him anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not that she, it's that he stepped out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? He stepped out of bounds out of her fantasy. And now she's like, well, I don't want to do it anymore. Or I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And I'll say this. This will confirm what I'm saying, right? You ever hear women talk to each other? Like anytime you have women talking to each other and they're talking about men, they always give men nicknames, or they always have a certain name for men in their phones. Whether it's work husband, whether it's bouncer at the club, whether it's tire change guy, whether it's there are a million different names, man. Like that's the scenario or fantasy she puts you in. And a lot of times that fantasy she has in her mind is where she wants you to play. You know what I'm saying? Like you may be the guy that she calls, after the club, when she done had all the fun at the club and the girls and everybody's going home. You might be Mr. Zero Dark 30. You know what I'm saying? You might be Mr. Main Eater. You know what I'm saying? Every woman has you in a role they want you to play, man. And I'm gonna tell you, and this is just I'm not I'm not sitting here promoting it. I'm just telling you, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. It's like, and when I say a lot of y'all might have missed the bus, this is what I really mean. Like, if you ever find yourself in a relationship, right? And you're in a relationship with a woman, committed relationship, for more than 2 years, 3 years, and you've been committed, you've been loyal. By the time, if that relationship goes south, if you come out of that relationship, you have to understand the way women move are completely different. Like, women are always, and I don't want to use the word evolving. I don't want to use that word, but they're always evolving into something else. And I'm just telling you where women are right now. Women are 100% fantasy based. That whole dream of, hey, I'm a husband. There are very few women that desire a husband. And out of the very few women that desire a husband, a lot of them desire one. I mean, some of them desire a husband for the right reason. Some of them desire a husband strictly out of fear and survival. I'm just keeping it straight up. I'm just keeping it straight up. Matter of fact, think about how many people you know, men or women, that are married that are happy. Like, the whole marriage game is almost extinct. Like, I don't know what generation it is right now. This, like, I don't, like, generation 3D or whatever they call the new generation, like the 20-year-olds right now. Oh man, like, marriage is going to be Greek to them. Man. So just the world is changing. But I said it's a double-edged sword. And I want to speak to that, man. It's a double-edged sword because now that you understand, right? The positive side is, now that you understand how the minds of women work, you can interact with them different, right? Even if it's on a non-intimate level, even if it's on the level of, you go to your favorite restaurant and the female there is sweet and this. Like, as long as you keep it within the confines of that relationship, man, you will have a blast talking to her every time. But as soon as you say, hey, you know what, let's da 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 da, like, you're jacking the fantasy, right? So that's, now you have an advantage of understanding that, right? That's one side of the sword. The other side is this. There's a danger to what I'm talking about as well. There's a danger to what I'm talking about as well. Going back to what I started saying earlier, a lot of men, matter of fact, most of the men that I know, I want to say all, but most of the men that I know, I can't think, most of the men I know move in such a fashion that if they have time for a woman, it's only one woman. And I'm not saying that all men are looking for wives, but if a man has a woman he's entertaining every few days or every day or every weekend or whatever, he's pretty much just entertaining that one woman a long way, just because the way his life is set up. And again, I mentioned two sides a second ago. I mentioned a man that's conscious and a man that's busy with work. On the busy with work side, he understands that, hey man, if I'm going to be about my business, I don't have time to be entertaining a multitude of women. On the conscious side, he understands that, hey man, if I'm blending energy with all these women, my life is going to do a certain thing. So most men that I know move like that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, when I say there's a danger to it, there's a danger to, I'll say it like this. If you're fulfilling a scenario, like if you're dealing with a woman and she's scenario based, right? And she's scenario based, odds are she has a number of scenarios she's fulfilling. And I know I'm eating. I try to keep my mouth closed, guys. I'm gonna say it again. If you're dealing with a woman and she's scenario based, odds are she has a multitude of men and she's fulfilling a multitude of scenarios, which causes a problem in a man's life. Is this somebody's cell phone going off? Which causes a problem in a man's life. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. And I've been preaching this since my red pill days. There's no healthy scenario. There's no benefit whatsoever for a man having a rotation or a multitude of women or a multitude of scenarios. Now, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that there aren't times where a man. I'm not saying there aren't times where you may entertain a woman for a minute and y'all vibe for a few weeks, a few months, and that situation dies for whatever reason, and a few weeks later, a month later, you meet somebody else, and y'all are vibing for 6 months, a year and a half, and that terminates, and you meet some. I'm not saying that doesn't happen because that happens, but for a man to have the mindset of, hey, I'm gonna have a multitude of women. On Wednesday, I'm calling Jody. On Thursday, I'm calling Justine. On Friday, I'm calling. If you're in that energy, man, I guarantee you your life isn't doing what it's supposed to do. So having said that, you have to understand that the same energetic thing that's taking place when you have a rotation of women is the same energetic thing that's taking place when you entertain a woman that's scenario based and she only wants a lover, because she's still blending energy with the multitude of men. So when you blend energies with her, it's not just your energy you're recirculating through yourself, man. So it's a double-edged sword. Now you understand the game. Now you understand how a lot of the minds of women work. At the same time, you understand that when you encounter these women, that hey, there's a risk involved. There's risk involved in blending energies, man. Like there's no situation, there's no scenario that ends well where you're blending energies with multiple people. And I'm not even talking about hey, all these diseases and STD. I'm not even like, that's one whole level. I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about you being a man that's going after your vision. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I've been talking to men one on one for the last 5 years, maybe 6 years even, give or take. And I'm gonna tell you this, man. If there's one thing I know from talking to men that are well off, men that are just now trying to get started, men that are kind of halfway down the path and kind of at a crossroads, if there's one thing I've learned from talking to a number of men over the years, it's that anytime more than one woman enters the scenario, life goes to shit. I'm telling you, brother, I'm talking about several conversations. Anytime a scenario where a man is focused and first off, if he's entertaining a woman with the wrong energy, with that energy I'm talking about, anytime a man has entertained a woman with that energy, his life instantly goes south. And it's to the point now where I can talk to men and we can talk about scenarios and I can Babe Ruth it. I can say, hey, brother, you know what I'm saying? I've seen this enough times. I can say, this has happened. And they're like, dang, well, how you know? I said, brother, I've seen this story many times. Not only have I lived it, I talk to brothers who are going through the same thing every day. I say, this is happening. This is happening. Okay, now your business is doing this, isn't it? Now your life is doing this, isn't it? Now your focus is doing this right here. How do you know, soul? You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, man. This stuff we're playing with, man, it's especially when we talk about women and all that stuff. It's not for play, man. I'm gonna tell you this. Soul loves beautiful, thick, sexy women just as much as the next man. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm very choosy about who I entertain. Very choosy about who I entertain, man. You know what I'm saying? So just understand, man, that like the game. Understand that the game, man, it's a double-edged sword, man. Women that are made like our mothers and aunties and all that stuff. Like, I'm not saying that those women don't exist, but those women are. You're only going to see 2 to 3 of those caliber of women in your life. If you live to be 80, 90, 100 years old, you'll only meet 3 of those women in your life. The rest of women, man, they're scenario based. Which means when you find a woman, all you have to do, if you want that relationship to be successful, and I don't know any other way to say it, if you want that relationship to have harmony, then just play your part, man. Find out where she wants you to be, in that what scenario she wants